Sir, we heard no sound, sir.
Now it is audible.
Yes, sir.
Actually, I was muted. So, okay, I can repeat it again. Okay. So, I can repeat it again. We have been talking about how to apply this supernodal analysis. Means how to go for application of supernode. So here we can, whenever we are having voltage source in between, so whenever we are having a voltage source in between two non-reference nodes, this one, and this one are called as non-reference nodes, whereas this one is called as reference node. So whenever there is a voltage source between two non-reference nodes like these 1, 2, 3 and 4, we have to go for a super node. Okay, so here we can see a voltage source of 20 volt is there between node 1 and 2, and a voltage source of 3Vx is there between node 3 and 4. 20 volt source is a independent source, whereas this 3Vx source is a dependent source. Okay, can anybody tell me that this is which type of source? The dependent source are of 4 types: voltage dependent voltage source, current dependent current source, voltage dependent current source. There are 4 types. Okay, and current dependent voltage source. So can you tell me this voltage source, anybody, Joy Prakash Dhar, can you tell me that this voltage source is of which type? Joy Prakash, have you joined? You have joined. So can you tell me the answer? Okay, you are not answering. So this is a voltage controlled voltage source because it is a voltage source and it is dependent on this voltage. So voltage dependent voltage source. Now let us see what to do with these voltage sources which are in between non-reference nodes. So here we will assume them as a super node, and let us see in the next one. Yes, so now you can see the voltage source has been removed, and this complete node V1 V2 is making one super node, and here V3 and V4 are also making one super node. We have to assign currents. So direction of currents you can choose any, as I have already told you that you can choose any direction. Okay, for current. So I1 has been taken as upward, you can take it as downward also, no problem. I2, I3, which is in 6 ohm, then 10 ampere it is already given, then I5 in 4 ohm and I4 in 1 ohm. The downward currents like in 4 ohm and in 1 ohm and in 2 ohm, we generally take them as downward because the potential at the reference node is 0. So we say that the current is flowing from higher potential to lower potential. So it is better to take the direction as downward. Otherwise, you can take the direction upward also, no problem at all. Now, if you apply KCL, okay, so Kirchhoff's current law at this super node, you assume that this is complete is a node. Okay, so now what is the incoming current? Incoming current is I3, outgoing current is I2 and I1. Incoming current is this one also, 10 ampere. So 10 plus I3 is incoming, whereas I1 and I2 is outgoing. So we are having this equation, I3 plus 10 is equal to I1 plus I2. So this is the KCL at super node 1, 2. Further, we have to replace these currents with voltages. Okay, now how we can do that? You know, I3 current is there. I3 is between V2 and V3, but it is flowing in left direction. It means V3 is the higher potential and V2 is the lower potential. Then only it is flowing like this. You can see. Okay, it means I have to take it as, because it is flowing like this, I have to take it as V3 minus V2 divided by the resistance. The resistance is 6 ohm. So the current I3 will be replaced by this expression, V3 minus V2 divided by 6. That is the current I3 flowing from higher potential to lower potential, plus 10. So that is this current. This is a current source, so 10 ampere current can be added. It is there already. Then I1. Now I1 is flowing in this 3 ohm resistor, and it is between V1 and V4. I1 current is flowing in 3 ohm resistor, and 3 ohm resistor is there between node 1 and node 4. The voltage at node 1 is V1, the voltage at node 4 is V4. So I can have this expression, because it is flowing from V1 node 1 to node 2. It means node 1 is at higher potential. Node 1 is at higher potential because it is flowing like this. So I can write V1 minus V4 divided by 3. 3 ohm is the resistance. And the last one, for current I2, current I2 is flowing like this, and higher potential is V1, lower potential is 0. So V1 minus 0, it will be V1 divided by the resistance. Resistance is 2 ohm. So I hope this is going to be clear. If you have some doubts, you can ask on chat box. You can put your question in the chat box. If you have any doubt in this expression. So if there are no doubts, then we can again go for second equation. So we will go to the second super node. Okay, that is node super node 3, 4. This one, this super node. So now again the currents are, incoming currents are, it is already written. So I1 current is incoming and all other currents are outgoing. You can see. So I3 is outgoing, I5 is outgoing, and I4 is outgoing. So you can always write I1 is equal to I3 plus I4 plus I5. So that is the KCL at super node 3. All these currents can be replaced by voltages. I1 we have already written here. This is I1, so I can already I can easily write I1 is V1 minus V4 by 3. Okay, I3 we have already written previously in the previous equation, V3 minus V2 by 6. Then I4 is here, this current. So it is again flowing from a higher potential to lower potential. Lower potential is 0, so we can write V4 by 1. V4 by 1. This is I4, and the last one I5 V3. So V3 by 4 can be written as I5. So I hope this equation is clear. If you have some doubts, you can ask now also. Okay, or maybe on chat box, or if you want to ask later, you can ask on LPU Live. Further, once you have got these equations, again the problem is we have got two equations. Okay, still the question is not solved. We have got two equations. This is the first one. This equation can be simplified and we can get this one. So from here we are getting this one. Okay, so we have to simplify it. Simplification can be done in any manner. Okay, you can multiply the whole equation by 6. Multiply the whole equation by 6. 6 will be cancelled. This will become 60. This will become 6v1. This will be 2v1 minus 2v4, and this will be 3v1. So again, you can simplify it and you can get it. It is just mathematics, and I hope that you know how to simplify the equations. So this equation can be simplified and we can get this one. So we have this equation number 1 and this equation number 2. but still we have 4 variables and only 2 equations we have got. So still there is a problem. So what to do? We have to apply KCL or KVL now. What to do? So now what we will do is, now we will apply KVL because we are having the voltage sources. So we have to apply KVL because in those equations we have not considered these voltage sources. So now 20-volt source and 3-volt source, 3Vx, okay, that will be taken here. So if you apply KVL in this loop, loop 1, it is going to be, you start from here, you start from this point. So minus is coming first, so minus V1 plus 20 plus V2. Minus V1 plus 20 plus V2 equal to 0. So this is first KVL equation which we are getting. So this is another equation, that is third equation you can say. Again for loop 2, we have this one. So we can start from here, this point, minus V3 plus 3Vx plus V4, minus V3 plus 3Vx plus V4. Okay, so this will be the equation for loop 2, KVL. So in nodal analysis, we apply KVL for super nodes, especially we apply KVL for super mesh, we apply KCL. Has anybody solved the question which I have uploaded on LPU Live? On the poll, I have uploaded one question. Has anybody solved?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. And what is the answer? Can anybody tell?
26 point something.
26.67. Yes, correct. Who are you?
Vivek Kumar.
Vivek Kumar. Good, good.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So that is the correct answer. Others should solve it, and that will be good for practice. Okay. Later on, but again, in this equation, if you consider, we have V3, V4, but Vx also. So now what is Vx? Vx is this voltage. Vx so Vx you can see has been written as V1 minus V4. Why we are writing it like this? You can see that Vx is voltage across 3 ohm resistor, and current was flowing like this. We have taken the current like this. So definitely this is the higher potential and this is the lower potential. So I can always write V1 minus V4 as Vx, the voltage across 3 ohm resistor. Moreover, we have already written previously also here the current I1 V1 minus V4. So V1 minus V4 is basically Vx, the voltage across 3 ohm resistor. You can see here. Okay, you can see in this expression V1 minus V4 by 3. So this is the current. It means this is the voltage across 3 ohm resistor, and that is Vx. Okay. So now we have 3V1 minus V3. If we put it there in this equation, we can get 3V1 minus V3 minus 2V4. Okay. After that, we have again a loop 3. So we have to write one more equation. And again, you just apply KVL here. So if you start from this point, Vx, you start from this point, okay, plus Vx minus 3, because minus is coming first, minus 3 Vx, 6 I3, because voltage across 6 ohm is 6 I3, I3 is the current, okay, minus 20. This voltage is minus 20. So we have applied a KVL in this loop. And again, we have Vx here. Vx can be replaced by V1 minus V4 as we know. And 6 I3 can be replaced by V3 minus V2 because we have this thing. I3 is mentioned here. V3 minus V2 by 6. I3 is V3 minus V2 by 6. We can see. So 6 I3 can be written as V3 minus V2. 6 I3 can be written as V3 minus V2. Once we have all the equations, the main thing is to get all these equations. Once we have all these equations, it is very easy to solve them. So we have got 5 equations. Okay, only 4 is required. So we have got all the equations. Even this is not required because we only want 4 equations. Okay, so the last one is not required. Even if you want, you can, but otherwise it is not required. So we have 4 equations, or not even 5 we have, and 4 variables are there: v1, v2, v3 and v4, because vx we can get from here, vx we can get from v1 minus v4, so no problem for that. So we have 4 equations, 4 variables. We can easily solve them with the help of any mathematical tool, maybe matrix method, determinant method, that is Cramer's rule, or maybe with the help of calculator, or maybe with the help of elimination method. Any method you can use. There they have tried to get 3 equations, okay, from the 4, and then so we can always get 3 equations by elimination method. So after that they used Cramer's rule. I hope you have studied in +2 the Cramer's rule. Okay, you have to find the determinant. For those who don't know, you can refer this. Okay, so we just take the coefficients and find the determinant, and after that we replace the columns with the right hand side numbers, that is 0, 80 and 40, and go on calculating delta 1, delta 3, delta 4. Okay, so that gives us v1, v3, like that. Okay, so this is the same question which I have uploaded on LPU Live. Okay, and whosoever have got the correct answer, that is v1 is equal to 26.67 volt. Okay, so just a summary that how to go for super nodes. So whenever we have voltage sources in between 2 non-reference nodes, we have to go for super node, and we write the KCL, we replace the currents with voltages. After that, we want some more equations, and for that we apply KVL in those loops. So with the help of Kirchhoff's voltage laws, we get more equations, and with the help of all those equations, we can solve them for v1, v2, v3, whatever are the variables. So this was about mesh and nodal analysis. Okay, we have covered mesh analysis, we have covered super mesh analysis, and we have covered super node also. So with dependent sources, without dependent sources. Yes, still we have covered all the circuits with DC sources. All these, the same concepts can be applied to AC sources also. The concepts will remain same, the calculations will change because AC sources will be represented by complex numbers. Okay, there we will be using complex numbers to represent all those parameters. Okay, so the calculation will be little bit difficult, but the concepts are going to remain same. We will go for some questions at the end of the chapter of AC circuits also. We will solve some problems on AC circuits at the end of the chapter. Calculator is must in that case. Okay, and little bit complex they are. So further we will go for circuit theorems. The most important one, Okay, so the first thing is why we require theorems. Whenever we have very large circuits like this, like the previous case, okay, or maybe some very large circuit in electronics or maybe in electrical engineering, we generally encounter a lot of complex circuits. And suppose like in the socket, okay, you are all at home, and if you see the socket, okay, you generally connect the load here on the socket, maybe your heater, suppose, okay. Now every time the load is changing, isn't it? Sometimes you connect heater, sometimes you connect charger, sometimes you connect refrigerator, anything. So load resistance or load keeps on changing, okay. So if somebody is asking you to find the current here, okay, yes, ratings are given, that is fine, but if calculations are to be done, okay, then that is a problem, because the circuit inside this socket, means after the socket, the circuit is too complex, the domestic wiring is too complex, you know, the wiring here is too complex, it is a very complex circuit, okay, you all know, and you cannot solve the whole circuit again and again to find the current. You cannot solve the whole circuit again and again to find the current, okay. Yes, current rating is already given and you can always use a ammeter, okay, but we are taking that case where we are not having ammeter also. So the point is, we are just talking about calculations. So the point here is, if we have very large circuit, okay, like this one, which I can show you here, okay. This one, and somebody is saying that calculate the current across or through 3 ohm resistor. Somebody is asking that calculate the current through 3 ohm resistor. Yes, you can find it by using any method of mesh or nodal analysis, that is okay. But suppose this current is, this resistance is changed to 10 ohm. 10 ohm, okay. Then again, all the equations will change. All the mesh means the mesh equation will change. You have to solve all the equations again and get the current. For this type of complex circuit, if you are changing this load resistance, okay, this resistance, okay, again you have to solve all the equations again and again, okay, to find the current. You know how complex it is. But if the whole circuit, leaving this, the whole circuit can be reduced, if this complete circuit is reduced to one voltage source or current source, to one source and one resistor only, it is very easy to find the current again and again, okay. Our purpose is just to reduce this whole circuit into one source and one resistance. There comes the concept of circuit theorems. Circuit theorems help us to do this. Every time you don't have to write the equations. Once you have simplified the circuit, okay, once you have reduced the circuit in form of one voltage source or current source and one resistance, you can always find the current. Whatever is the load, you can find the current. So the circuit theorems help us to simplify the circuit analysis. Okay.
Thevenin.
And the most common theorems are Thevenin theorem, Norton theorem, superposition theorem, maximum power transfer theorem. Okay. Source transformation we will do later. So these theorems are very, very important. Mostly these which are written here: circuit theorem, Norton theorem, superposition theorem, and maximum power transfer theorem. All these 4 equations are important from examination point of view. There are certain other equations in your syllabus like reciprocity theorem and compensation theorem, Caligan's theorem. All other theorems are not that much important and no numericals are there. or they are asked in examination. For Telegon theorem or other theorems, only statements are important. Telegon, compensation and reciprocity theorem, only statements are important. But for this Thevenin, Norton and superposition and maximum power transfer theorem, numericals comes a lot of times. Numericals are asked in examination. Statements are also very, very important. And simple numericals. Sometimes they ask state and explain Thevenin theorem with the help of an example. So you should know some example, okay, and you should know how to apply the Thevenin theorem on that example. So it is very, very important. So let us try to first understand this linearity property, because superposition theorem is based on linearity. Okay, superposition theorem is based on linearity. First we will do the superposition theorem. After that we will proceed further. Okay. So Tenjin, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
So can you tell me that what do you mean by linearity?
Increasing with current and voltage. Increase in current and voltage.
No, linearity property.
With the time
Yes,
current is changed.
यहाँ पे लिखा भी है, linearity का मतलब homogeneity और additivity property. ठीक है?
Yes, sir.
Linearity का मतलब ये है. Linearity का मतलब it will be following this type of curve. ऐसा कर्व होता है ना लीनियर का. Okay, so there are two properties in linearity property: homogeneity and additivity. Additivity is also called as superposition theorem. Okay, I will just tell you about, like, if input is I, then output is V. Okay, if input is Ki, then output will become KIR. तो output will be multiplied by that much amount. ठीक है, input अगर X है तो output क्या है, Y है, और अगर input KX है तो output क्या हो जाएगा, KXY हो जाएगा. ठीक है, so if this is the case, this is called homogeneity property. Scaling, इनपुट अगर किसी चीज नंबर से मल्टीप्लाई होता है तो आउटपुट भी उसी नंबर से मल्टीप्लाई हो जाता है. बट अगर दूसरी प्रॉपर्टी क्या है, एडिटिविटी. एडिटिविटी में क्या है, it is again based on superposition theorem is based on this one. Okay, so additivity का मतलब क्या है, if I will just make you understand with this example. अगर ये हमारा सिस्टम है and if you are giving x1 as input, then you are getting y1 as output. Again, for the same system, if you are giving x2 as input, you are getting y2 as output. Separately. Okay, these are separately. Now, if the circuit is linear, or if the circuit if superposition theorem has to be followed, it means what will happen. Now if you give the input as x1 plus x2, then superposition theorem says that the output should be y1 plus y2. So this is called superposition additivity property or superposition principle. So if you are giving individual input, you are getting individual output. But if you are giving some of those individual inputs, the output should be some of the individual outputs. एक वोल्टेज सोर्स लगाया तो एक करंट आ रहा है, दूसरा वोल्टेज सोर्स लगाया दूसरा करंट आ रहा है, दोनों वोल्टेज सोर्स लगाए तो वो दोनों करंट का सम होना चाहिए। आई होप यू आर गेटिंग इट। ओके, जैसे यहाँ पे I1 है तो I1 इनपुट है तो आउटपुट क्या हो गया, इफ I1 इज इनपुट आउटपुट इज V1 दैट इज I1R। I2 अगर इनपुट है तो आउटपुट इज V2 I2R। तो इफ I1 प्लस I2 इनपुट है तो आउटपुट क्या हो जाएगा V1 प्लस V2। ये अगर प्रूफ हो रहा है, इफ दिस इज बीइंग डन, ओके, देन सुपरपोजिशन प्रिंसिपल इज बीइंग फॉलोड। Okay, so the meeting will be finishing soon. So I have already taken the snapshot. There are 32 people. Okay, so 32 students should join it again. Otherwise, those who are not there, those who are not visible to me, after this, when the meeting ends, I will put absent for those. Okay, so all should join the meeting again. Okay, once it gets
Okay, sir.
automatically finished. Okay, it will be just less
Okay,
than 1
sir.
minute.